Welcome everybody. This is the Monday morning Viper trading webinar. If you're here to learn about trading the futures markets using the Viper tools, you're in the right place. All communications from Viper Trading Systems are for educational purposes only. Futures and Forex trading does involve risk, and there is a risk of loss. Nothing contained in this webinar, other webinars, including the live trading room, are to be construed as investment or trading advice. And of course, everybody in here tonight does know that you do trade at your own sole discretion. Okay, good. Now that that's out of the way, tonight's topic is targets and stops. Targets and stops. So without further ado, let's get over to screen one. And we're going to do some targets and stops together. And then we'll start to do some stops and targets where you will help in the calls of the placement of those. Can everybody see the crude oil chart? 4-range crude oil. By the way, I know we have a couple of people visiting. I know this might look a little bit daunting when you first look at it. I'll try to simplify and hide the predictor a little bit here. You're looking at the Viper indicators. Okay, this is a crude oil contract. Gary starts trading this 5 minutes before the pit open at 6 a.m. Pacific in the live room. And we trade it all through the equity session. And you know, you can see that we have background colors here. We have bar colors. We have the most prominent thing here, of course, is the bands, which we have the mid bands, the large one in the middle, and then we have 4 bands above, 4 bands below. The outermost band is sometimes referred as a phantom trade, depending on when the market goes into, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Our most basic form of trade, as most of you know, of course, is what we call the retracement trade. So we have this notion of what's called thrust in a given direction, and we have retracement. Most of us, I don't want to speak for everybody in here, but a lot of us like to trade these mid-band trades when the market comes back, in some cases, to the middle band, the large thick band right here, and sits on it, pauses for some period of time. We use our object trader tool. Most of you are familiar with that. A lot of people use it. Hey, David H., welcome. If you're coming in late, don't worry. We're recording it. We're just getting started. One of the primary components of the object trader tool are the region box. That's one of our most popular tools. There's other ones. There's the Ray tool and the Viper line, what have you. But the box, of course, is something we use around the mid-band when the market sits here in preparation for a break one way or another. We try to avoid buying or selling thrust moves. We wait patiently for the retracements, and then we box the market in. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about as sort of a little bit of a precursor to the whole discussion of targets and stops is the idea that if you can do it, if your risk profile and your trading account size is such that it will allow you to take 2 contracts or more. Jumping right into the mix and talking first of all about targets. Generally speaking, you're going to hear something in the room to the effect of the market has moved to, you know, some number, 45.80, whatever the number happens to be for the trade. Generally, and let's look at some examples here, okay? And let's work together so we all see this together. For instance, on this short rollover, right here, I'm circling my cursor. We had a thrust down. We had a retracement, and we have a mid-band rollover short trade setting up right in here. This is a couple of days ago. I just randomly sort of picked spots on the crude oil chart to look at trades. Okay, I just randomly sort of picked it so we could talk about these setups. Looking at this short trade right here, where is the first target that you're looking for it to hit? Generally, we would call this the take your scalper coin. You might hear that phrase a lot in the room. Take the scalper coin. When we say take scalper coin, what does that mean? Anybody? Scalper coin. What are we talking about? Scalper coin. What is that supposed to mean? Tell you what, let's do this. Let's make it a little more fun. Let's make it a little more interesting, okay? I'm going to pause the screen. Let's get gold up here. Gold's moving. That's the first target. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. I think let's make it a little more interactive and a little more fun. Hold on. Let me drag this gold chart down. All right. Let's start with this one. This might be a little better because it's actually moving. And let's make sure we're in sim trading gold. All righty. We've had a couple of cases where gold has pulled back. Each time we get a retracement, a pullback, we're looking for a push to a prior swing, and then we're looking for a pullback. So if we were going to go ahead and trade this, where might we buy? Oh, wait a minute. Do you see gold? Gold chart. Cursor moving. I think it was paused. Okay, now everybody sees gold? Okay, all right. So if gold was to pull back off of this fresh swing up here, where might it pull back to for us to buy to get in? Let me put some ideas on the table for you here. How about a buy limit order in here? How about another one, say right about here? And another one, let's put right at or around the mid-band. Trend is up. We're looking to get long, yes? Now, I don't know if it's going to pull back. Who knows where it's going to pull back into? And frankly, this is really not the proper way to trade this. Most of you know that, of course, that in order for us to I'm just using this as an example because we have some live data and the chart's moving around, and we can actually have something hopefully get filled here to look at and watch for the next hour or so. But you've heard me say this scores of times before. In terms of a retracement pullback off of that swing level, we are thinking that the retracement should form an area. Generally speaking, we would want it to actually come back here into this area before we take the trades. So I'm showing an example that we would probably never do. We would never actually put orders resting down here. Now let me get a quick vote from the team. How about putting a buy order up here above the market when it breaks out? How many of you like that? Yes or no? This one right here above the swing. What do you think? Should we take that? Pops through 1950. We can get a runner. What about a runner? You want right on it? You want right above it? Yes or no? Take it. We'll do whatever the team predominantly votes on gold. Not a chance. Asking for trouble. Could be a fake out. David, Pervez, Mark, Weldon voting no. Mario, Peter, Pat, Mark, and David D and D are voting negatory from Carl. Wait for a retracement. No, no, no. Say, hey, Eddie. I didn't even see you in there. Everybody thinks that's a pretty bad idea, huh? Okay, all right. Now, we can watch this happen. I'm gonna leave it up there just to see what happens. I know everybody in the room tonight voted no. I know you did. Okay, so if we get filled, it's going to be a good example of what not to do. But what I was trying to say was that if we get a fill down in here by the mid-band, where would our targets be? Hypothetically, if we do get and it might happen, sometime in the next hour, half an hour or so, if we get a retracement into the sweet spot of our little retracement zone here and we get filled, where would our target be? our first target. So in the event we do pull back, ooh, we're long. Uh-oh. No, 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 says Eddie. Everybody's freaking out. Don't freak out. We're in sim. Let's see what happens here. All right, good, good. So yeah, essentially, if you know, if it's not pulling back now, but if it did, yeah, you would put your targets up here and you would fade them, right? We see that the swing is up here around 12, 18, 19. And so here's how sort of our thinking goes when we look to get into these trades, right? We have our thrust. We're in, we are expecting a pullback like this. We might not get it, but we're expecting it. And so if and when we were to get that, we would want to fade this swing here. Now, what do you do when you get filled on a breakout trade and there are no swings up here? What do you do then? What do you use as your targets and stops? So we're in this trade right now, right? I know nobody wanted to have it. I understand that. But if we were going to manage it, where might we put a target and a stop? Here, I'm just going to leave these in here real quick. That's a question. Just think about that for a minute. I'll leave these buys in here, right where we had them, in case we do get a pullback. So we got filled on a breakout. We're up 3 ticks. How do we find? Look to the left. Good. Good, good. So the market's moving out. We got filled. I know we got filled at the top here, but let's say hypothetically we were filled from a lower level. You have to go back over here to prior swing levels. Now, in some cases, you don't have them. Here, for instance, we can see that the swing levels for this particular case were right in here. Here, let me just put a line right there. In fact, it's corresponding with where we were looking to get in. Right here, see those swings? Those are right about located where we were looking for the pullback, yes? Now here's another way you can do this. All right, here's another way you can do this. You can look at other levels. Let's do that. Let's do that right now. Let me show you how you do that. A measured move, you can do a measured move. I'm going to show that too. Good, 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 very good, Mark. Measured move, I'll show you what that is. I'm going to do something else first. Give me 1 second, please. Okay, hold on here. I'm trying to pull up one other chart here to help you with this. That will show you more of the bigger picture. Ready? I've shown this chart many, many times before, and it's a very good one. This is called the 1440-minute chart. Looking at the 1440-minute chart, above where we are at located right now, we're at roughly 1220 plus or minus a couple of ticks right here. Where is the next level of resistance on gold? On this chart right here. In other words, if gold was going to continue up, where might it hit next if the move continues up? We're looking at the 1440 chart. Your eyes should be focused on the last half a dozen bars right in here. So you came right down into 1200, found support. Here's today, here's now. No surprise, 1200 is an even number. We're getting a short covering bounce. That's all this is really, right? Good. So what I'm trying to show you here is that if you run out of gas on your 4-range chart because there just isn't any swings to the left for you to check, you can always rely on the old 1440, because usually you're going to get some swing levels out of there, right? Now I see a lot of good answers, and the answers are coming in right around here, 1230, and that's correct. And then above there, of course, you see that the next swing would probably be up around 1250-ish. So now this is a little bit of a counter trend trade in the fact that I don't know if I have the DX chart, Hardy. I might be able to show the 6E. I don't know if I have DX. I'll have to check that. So would it be unprecedented for a 10-point 40-tick move on gold? Now let's go take a look. In other words, would it be unusual for gold to move that much? Well, this is where the measured move program gets involved. When we say measured move, it's just a fancy term for you look at the prior swing moves and you see how much they moved and see what kind of precedent has been set for movement. So here's a way you quickly do that, right? Let's look at some swings. For instance, here it bounced around in some of these little areas here. You bounce from essentially 1212 up to 1215, 40. So what's that? How big is this move right here in this range? About 34 ticks, right? Did I lose audio? Testing audio, testing video. Cursor moving, I'm talking. Pat said she lost audio and video, or audio. It's all good? Okay, we'll keep going. Here, for instance, in this little range, it went from 1350 up to 1780, 35 ticks. Here we dropped from 14 down to 09, so 40, 45, almost 50 ticks. Here we ran from 1211 all the way up here to well, almost 20. There you're looking at almost 100 ticks. So it was a 40-tick move, unprecedented. Would it be unprecedented for it to go from here all the way up to here? Now, it might not happen, obviously, in the next half an hour. It might not even happen tonight. It may take overnight all the way through tomorrow, assuming it continued up. Right? Now, the question is this, and I can't really talk stops until it pushes higher. If it starts pushing higher, we're going to start talking about stops and trailing stops. Yeah, so it's not unprecedented. It's not unprecedented to get 30, 40 tick moves, and it's quite possible that gold could in fact go from, if it continues its ascent, from here to here. 20 to 30. So that's one little trick you can keep in your toolbox there. If you're looking at a chart where you're getting a big run and there's really no sort of swings on the chart to really check out, you got to go to a much higher frame. I mean, you can go up to, sometimes you can go up as high as like 12, 14, 16, 20 tick charts and go back like a week sometimes or more, right? But you want to look for that next swing. So you want to take scalper coin. If we had 2 contracts on right now, we would generally go about between 5 and 10 ticks to take scalper coin. That's what we call it. That means you're going to go up somewhere between 5 and 10 ticks, usually 8. So if you had 2 contracts on, if we popped up another 4 ticks, we would actually be peeling one off up here. Okay. And then the runner, you would have let it try to push its way back up towards this 30 level and trail the stop behind any kind of runner you might have. Tell you what we're going to do for now. Let's just tuck this in the corner and look at something else, because I want to get into a place where you can visualize these swings like I do and Gary does. Let's go back to crude oil on the right, and we'll tuck the gold on the corner and watch it. By the way, if anybody else could scan the markets and see if there's anything else moving. Is there anything else moving? 6A, 6S, sometimes those move after hours. You want to look at a 6A and a 6S, 6J? 6J moving? Anybody? Yeah, I know everybody likes to see live charts. It's so much better, huh? Well, here's crude oil right now. Here's crude oil right now. Big uptrend move. Got to pull back. We had a nice long setup right in here. Long bounce right off the mid-band. Run up to some fresh swings. Pulled back, support. Held the mid-band, coming down, holding support. So what do you want to do with crude now? Anybody see any trades setting up on crude? Let's make sure we're in sim here too. I don't really want to take crude trades right now. There we go. Wait, okay. So here's my question on crude as we look at this chart together as a team. Now, we had a very protracted, long move up here, right? Here was the last push to 47.80. We came back, we held the mid-band for a quick little scalper bounce. I'm not going to put all these in here. You see them, you get the idea. And then we came out arguably and we got a phantom trade out by the outermost band, right down in here, and we bounced. And most of you know that when you're taking a phantom trade is the first time into the outermost band after a long trend move. So in the case of an uptrend, a phantom move would be a phantom trade would be when you pull into the outermost band down here and you bounce. And your target for a bounce on a phantom trade is generally going to be at the mid band. So that was your phantom trade. Arguably, it just happened again, right here. And so technically speaking, you could already be in a long trade and it's trying to get back to the mid-band. Now let me ask you this here. We've had 2 lower highs. We rolled off the mid-band and we broke this low right here with these candles. So technically now you have 1, 2, third lower low. So my question is this. Should we be buying crude oil right now, or should we be selling it? You're trading crude oil right now, David? Well, 117? Did it roll? Let me check. I can check that real quick. Hey, quick quiz. What site do you check if you're going to check the current front month? Anybody know? What is the de facto site to check for the current front month? Everybody should have that bookmarked, right? If you ever want to know the current front month on any futures contract, what site do you go to? Good. Everybody's got that. CMEgroup.com. So let's pull that up. Let's pull it up. Okay. Oh yeah, it's rolled. You are right. You are correct, sir. Let's fix that. Everybody know how to roll a contract forward? Anybody not know how to roll a contract forward? I'll just show everybody real quick because we have quite a few new people in here. All right, so once you know your current front, okay, some of you don't know it. Hey, Mario, I think you just joined us. You might be new. All right, so you go into your control center. Here, let me back up so I can show you how that works. Some of you are just completely new, and that's fine. So this is a good time to talk about it. Okay, so we went to CMEgroup.com. And in the case of crude oil, we are talking about energy. Under energy, you go to this top one, which is the crude oil futures. And you see here it says January of 2017. Okay? Then we come to our instrument manager inside of NinjaTrader, which is this, looks like this right here. It's your little panel thing right here, control center. And then you come in here and you go to Tools, Instrument Manager. Tools, Instrument Manager. Now here's all your futures instruments right here. All right, so you scroll down to crude oil. Where is it? CL, standby. Now see, in most cases, of course, Yeah, I know we changed recently. I just haven't had a chance to do that on this particular machine here where I'm doing the teaching from, Pervez. My apologies. But just real quick, so the way you finish that out is you put you hover over the crude oil. It automatically preloads the NYMEX market with 117, and you click to the left. It puts it on the chart on the default list, and you got to remember to come in here and take the old one off. Now your box is set. You come back into your chart and you put the new crude oil on here like this. Give it a second to load. Should load up for us here. Come on, Crudabilio. Be a good little friendy. Just don't lock up on me. All right. There you go. All right, so we've had a series of crude oil trades that I've already set up here. You see we had the mid-band here, box. It came up, it pierced this little swing, pulled back a little bit, broke up. You've had a series of stair steps. Anybody want to put a couple of buy orders on here with me? Where do we want to buy in crude on a pullback? Let's double check we're in sim. Double check we're in sim. Yep, okay, we're good. So we're buying pullbacks. We're not going to buy it up here, right? We're not going to buy it up here. We're going to wait for a pullback to get in, Anybody want to get in up here? As my granddaughter would say, that's soupy high. Brian says wait till it pulls back to 57. Anybody want to buy in here with Brian? Pulling back on gold. You breakout haters are getting your due. I hope you're happy. I intentionally did that because I want to show how it could pull back on you, just like we thought. Watch, it's going to pull right back into where we want to get in. I see some numbers coming in. Nice and conservative. Okay. Might not get there soon. That's right, Chris. Let me put some orders on crude in case we get a little pullback. There's your pullback on gold, right? I wanted to show some of the newer folks who had just joined us and are just starting to look at this for the first time. So that's primarily, you're seeing the exact reason why we don't buy breakouts. Okay, it's because you got this little head fake. Remember we bought at the prior swing on the break. Remember, and everybody said no, don't do it. Well, this is why. Because here's what's going to happen. Check it out. It's going to pull back into here. And you're feeling some heat, 5, 6 ticks. Eventually, when it gets down into here, you'll be down 10, 12, 14, 15 ticks. And so your stops, if they're 12 or 15, 10 or 12 ticks, your stops are going to be sitting here, which is right where what? Your stops are going to be down here. And this is where you want to actually be doing what? Buying in. So the breakout trader who's going to get stopped out, quite possibly, is getting out where the trade itself is actually setting up. That's why I left that order there. I wanted to show that this is what can happen. It can pull right back in your face, stop you out right where you're actually wanting to get in. Let's go ahead. Let's pull some up here. I'm just going to leave this on. See if we can get some filled on a couple other shots here so we can have something to manage, something to watch for the next half hour or so. Let's double down. All right, a lot of your numbers came in line 6. Good. There was somebody who was typed in 2 line 6s from D. D wants to buy. It's very aggressive up there. Okay, we got some buy orders on our crude right here. Somebody said 6J was moving. Is 6J moving? Anybody? You scanning the charts? Scan the charts and let's see what's moving. I'm going to set this as default template. Save as default. And then I'm going to load another chart and get 6J up. So we have three live charts we're going to be tracking here. I don't think I have another live chart with live data on it. Oh no, I got 6B. Where is the 6B chart? Oh, here it is. 6B is not moving. Who was saying 6J? Stand by, I'm loading 6J. That's the yen futures. 6J is the yen, Japanese yen futures. This is the beginning of the Asian session. 5 a.m. Pacific time is the kickoff of the Asian session. Ooh, we just missed one. You were right. Was that you, David D. or Eddie? When he was calling out 6J. Okay, let me get the screen back up. Gold came back through line 6 and bounced. We're actually up on that trade a little bit now. Didn't come back to our entry, just missed it by a few ticks right here. See it? We're trying to add to our position there and actually get filled with a blended average. Would have lowered the blended average down into here, but it never caught it. Let's see what crude's up to here. Stand by for a second, please. See, now we can't. Well, let me ask the question then. What happened to our crude? Be nice, don't lock up on me, friendly crudey, crudabilio. Trying to move the chart. All right, we're pulling back on crude. There we go. Got the swing, broke that 80 by 1 tick. I've got some of you typed in line 6, so I have a very aggressive entry long here. Below there, we have another buy at 64 and then a buy slightly above the mid band at 60. Now, what do you think about this 6J trade? Should we be buying in right here? Yes or no? It's right sitting at the 680 level. Market order, buy, yes? Is there a trade here on 6J right now, yes or no? What say you, team? Right here, 6J. Or did the trade already come and go? Did the trade entry already come and go on 6J? Yes, right. If you were going to buy a bounce on 6J, clearly the place to do it was down here. I don't know if we're going to get filled on crude. It's just pulling back very slightly there. We'll see what happens. Yeah, see it bounce down here, right? See it? Yeah, so that was your setup. So the point I'm trying to make is this. When you're assessing trades, and I think almost all of you know this in the room here tonight, is that when you look back on a chart, if you're just looking at an instrument for the very first time and you're trying to assess whether you should get in or not and where the proper entry is, and you see that you know the market has thrust up here, it pulled back, consolidated under the midband, and got another thrust here for a bounce long trade. Then if you're in between, so for instance in the room you might hear a comment like this, and I say this quite often, we're floating around in no man's land. What does that mean, no man's land? We're floating around in no man's land on 6J. What is that even saying? What is that supposed to mean, floating around in no man's land? That's a silly thing to say about a market, isn't it? What is no man's land? The move's already started. You're in between swing levels. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's my sort of way of saying that. Is it's not, of course, very sophisticated or anything, but no man's land means that you are not at resistance. Okay? Let's look at 6J in this range, right? So you're in no man's land. You're in between the top and the bottom. Here's resistance where you might do something, right? Maybe you want to short that, maybe you don't. Here's support where it bounced. So clearly that was a nice bounce long trade here, right? And you're right in the middle. You're right in the middle. You're in no man's land. In other words, that's just a way of saying there's no trade to take here. You know, I mean, if you were to pull the trigger long or short, you have an equal chance of going up and hitting here as you could to pulling back from here. I mean, you might get a little scalp up, and you don't know. If you got long, maybe you short it. If you short it, maybe you get down here, or you go up and get stopped out. You're rolling the dice in no man's land to pull the trigger in the middle between support and resistance. That's what that means. There's no trade here. You have to wait. Yeah, you would be flipping a coin, and nobody likes those odds. You're not putting the odds in your favor. Yeah, gold is just flirting with us up here. I think you can see on this pullback, we were not quite aggressive enough to add our second contract on this pullback where this circle is. It missed us. I'm looking here. It looks like it missed us by about 3 ticks. If we had been a little more aggressive on that buy and had it up around line 6, we would be filled 2 contracts right now in gold. In other words, what I'm saying is if this buy order was right here at line 6, I'll go ahead and leave it there. So that's another thing to notice when we talk about trade entries and exits and targets and stops is when you have a very powerful move on an instrument and it is retracing, say that 10 times fast, sometimes it'll only pull back into line 2 or line 6. In other words, you mid-band traders that are looking for these nice juicy mid-band trades, sometimes in a big move you're just not going to get those. Okay, you're going to have to wait for a little more shallow pullback like you had right here and pull the trigger. Now, quick question. If you do take the trade, like let's hypothetically say you bought gold on this bounce right here. You didn't wait for the mid-band and you got in. I'm talking specifically about buying this box right here, which then of course pushed up to these swings right here. Let's suppose that this market hypothetically did this, and then for some reason some news came out on gold, whatever, okay, and it does that. Where can we put our stops? Where can we put our stops on that tight band trade? Crude oil never filled us. 6J's pulling back. Pulling to the mid-band. You want to take a trade? While you ponder that on this box right here, over here. Right. You don't have to. What I'm saying is if you got a flip on gold, if it just bipped you in and you're in it and it's giving you a couple of 6-8 ticks, maybe you take scalper coin here or not on this hypothetical long trade out of this box right here. You don't have to put your stop. A lot of people think, well, I should give her 10 or 12 ticks. Maybe I should give it all the way to the mid-band. No, 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 no. Keep them tight. Just keep them like a tick or so under the wick of that last candle. Don't take a full stop out if you're going to get aggressive on your entries like that. Get your stops up real tight, within a tick or two of the support area. Okay, anybody want to buy down here? Oops, wrong one. Anybody want to buy? We're coming right into support here. Anybody want to buy 6J? You want to buy a bar close up? A bar close up would put the buy entry right here. I don't have it all set up properly. I'll put it right here. You want to go higher? Call out a number. We're taking a vote, team. We're coming right into support on 6J. What say you, team? A bar close up would more or less put your entry. You could have an entry there. How many want to buy right at the mid-band? Any buyers? Anybody buying the market if it wicks at mid-band? Okay, we're filled 1 contract long. Closed up. Anybody want to put a second one on? You know, I was going to put that. It was coming right down to it. Right when it wicked it, I was trying to put a buy order right there on the mid-band. You want to add to it at the mid-band? We're getting interesting. Let's take a quick vote here on 6J. What say you, team? Okay, we're up a couple of 3 ticks. You want to add here at the mid-band? If it closes up? Any takers, yes or no? You got to speak up now. Or is it too late? Yes? Ooh, mixed bag. No, no, no. We got 3 yeses and 3 nos. Cast your vote. Too late. We're married. We're married to it. Man, I wanted this mid-band. I was yakking over here, and I'm like, you know what? I should put some buy orders down here. I should put some buy, and it came right to it. Ah. All right, where's our scalper target? Scalper target. Call out the scalper target. Where are we going to take one off? Let me lob some ideas out there for you. What about up here? We're long, so our sell stop's got to go in, right? You want to go there, or you want to go here at line 6? Any takers at 660? Type in some numbers. We're taking a vote on our scalper target. We're long 2, 6J. Anybody want to peel some here? 1, 660 or 705? Casting the vote. 660 takers. Takers at 660. We have takers. We will put a sell limit at 6. Anybody want to fade it? We just hit the wick. Pops through the wick of that candle. You want to get out at 650? Some of you want to take it now. David, quite a few. You want to peel one right now. Well, we just got in it. Let's give it a couple of minutes to move around a little bit, okay? Okay, we're not going to fade it. All right, everybody said 660 right on the button. I'll leave it right there. Now, I'm going to take an A-B vote from the team. Type in A to leave this second contract fading this swing here at 720 by 2 ticks. This is contract number 2 target. That's A. B is let the runner run and take that swing out. A, inside of the swing, fading it. B, let a runner run and take it out. Ooh, quite a few A's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 A's. No, more than that. How many B's? 1, 2, 3. Wow, what a mixed bag. In other words, the predominant number, just visually looking at the votes here, are to go with A. So most of you have seemed like you wanted to fade that top swing and let it take it if it gets up there. Now let's talk stops. Let's talk stops. Where is our 2 stop contract stop going to go? Let me give you some ideas. You're long, so you're buying it, you're selling it, sell stop. You need 2. Gold getting a fresh swing. We'll check that on that in a minute. Stand by. A, loose. B, tight. A, loose. B, tight. 6J stops. Cast your vote quickly. We have to get over to gold. Please type in an A or a B for the stops. A, loose. B, tight. This is the tight. This is the loose. Loose A. Wow, we got quite a couple A's. We got a lot of B's. Boy, that's a mixed bag. That's tough to call. A lot of you are saying loose. All right, tell you, we'll compromise. Here, let's do this together as a team here, okay? If we pop this target here at 60 that we collectively voted on, then we'll take it up to, we'll leave it loose for now. We'll leave it a little bit looser because the predominant vote was a loose. Okay, so we'll leave it a little bit looser. And then if we pop this 60, we'll reduce this to 1 and take it up to get a free trade up here. Sound good? B after the scalper's hit, Peter. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it pops the scalper, we'll tighten that puppy way up there. Good, okay? All right, now what are we going to do with gold here? Okay, we missed this pullback. That did not get filled, that did not get filled, and obviously that did not get filled. So none of those got filled. We are now in a long. We could have been in 2 if we had a little bit tighter entry on the wick of that bar, but we're not. We're only in 1. Where do we want our stops now? Stop. Single stop. We're long, so it's a sell stop. Now, we just hit a fresh swing at 2090. We need to pop a target in here for gold. How many of you want to let a runner run? Let me do an A-B thing here again. Pulling back. You lose voters. We'll give you a little bit of loosey-goosey here. Should have put that 60, should have faded that 60. I had it down there, remember? It's all right. Let's see if it holds mid-band. Now, okay, I'm just going to show this. A tighter stop, I'm not going to put it here, but in my view, a tighter stop on gold would be right there. That bar closed down, you'd be out. Okay, and then the second question is, who's going to make it our little stoppy there? Okay, you lose voters. We'll get a little bit more wiggle room there. I come back down and check this swing down here, huh? Should have taken the scalper. Hey, for those of you who voted over here to take this coin right up here, some of you said to close it now when it was doing this. Hindsight's 20/20. You were right on the button. Should have closed it right there, huh? We're up nicely. You could add it to midband. Absolutely. And so that's a good idea, Pervez. All right. So another approach might be is, okay, it's coming right down to the support. How many of you want to add one here? Anybody want to add one more on a bounce? Any takers? Type in a Y if you want to add one more on 6J at the bounce. Or should you stop out? If you type in no, I'm assuming you're saying stopping out. Ooh, boy, a real mix there from the team. 1, 2, 3 no's, 4, 5, 6 no's. How many adds? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I got to say, primarily that seems to be no. Ooh, more ads are coming in. Boy, really interesting to see how everybody looks at these different markets, isn't it? Too bad we were yucking it up on gold. Tell you what we're going to do. Let's put that target back up there. Okay, we're waiting for a bounce. Some of you said to add, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do for you adders. We'll get 3 contracts on a bounce here. By the way, personally, just between us traders here tonight, I would never do that. In fact, if we had the tight stop in, the A-B thing, we would already be out and only have a slight, like 1 tick loss, 2 tick loss there. That's what I'm doing. The vote of the team, by the way, just so everybody doesn't think we're just being silly here, is we're trying to cause you to think about how you're going to approach trades. Like, for instance, you take tonight or tomorrow morning. So that's why I take the team vote. We're trying to see how everybody's looking at these markets, right? Everybody looks at them differently. Obviously, we can come back and we can say on 6J, the prudent thing to have done would have been to have the scalper been a little tighter and try to get out of the whole thing right there. But we didn't. Second thing was we should have had a tighter stop. Instead of the looser stop, we should have kept it right up here, and we would have already been out of it. Okay. Now we're in 3. Okay, we're married to 3 now. And I know most of you voted against it, so that's all right. We look like the bad news bears. No. That's why we do these things. It's after hours. You never know how these things are going to move. You know, if I pulled up the volume here, there'd probably hardly be any volume. In fact, let's do that. What's the bid ask on 6J? Not very much. 3.1, 5.2. Yeah, there's hardly any volume there. So, all right, we're trying to get back up to our blended average here, right just under the mid-band. How many of you want to do this on your scalper targets? You want to pop out of here quickly? How many you want to get out? 1 there. How many you want to take 2 there? And how many want to take 3 right there? Ladder out of that puppy. He says turn it on using Gary's money. Yeah, let's log in with Gary's account and start trading after hours. Excuse me. Sorry. Let me get a sip of tea. Hold on. That was a good one. Who said that? Yeah, John. Let's log in and use Gary's money. Hey, Gary. Yeah. Well, we decided to do a little experiment in the training webinar last night. We logged in and started trading 6J. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, we used your money. I don't think he would laugh at that. Anyway, all right, so what are we going to do with gold over here? Gold held our swing here. What about popping our stops, and where are we going to put our targets on gold? I forgot to take the AB vote on gold, and the AB would look something like this. We fade the top, A. B, we let it run. A, we fade this by 2 ticks. We just get out. B, we let it run and take the top out. Better vote quick because it's popping up. Rolled off of there. We better get a stop on 6J. Oh no, Gary's money's going quick. How many of you want to dump this puppy if we break support here? We're long, so we got to sell, right? Oops. Oop, it already broke it. All right, we're bleeding to death here. Kill it with fire. All right, I like that. I think I was messing around with gold. Nope, gold stopped out. And this one stopped out too because we are done. By the way, just circling back here, for me personally, okay, take all these orders off here. Wait a minute, we're filled oil. Remember to circle back, but just a couple of cleanup items here. We do this exercise with the live data for fun because we can all look at the markets together. We can all cast our votes on where we want to put targets and stops, where we should be getting in. In reality, some of the things we're doing here we would not really do with live markets, just so we're clear about that. Okay, we're doing this as a fun exercise as a team. Like for instance, let me just explain something over here. When this thing came up, we should have had tighter targets and stops over here when you're trading this, and we caught that bounce. We should have definitely, some of you said it too, close it and get out now. And then we had the vote on the tight stop. Remember, we were sitting in here long somewhere, and I said, do you want to put it tight? Which I think was the B vote. A was loose, B was tight, and A won, and we left it loose. In reality, I have to tell you, I would have had a tight stop right, literally a tick or two behind that entry, so we don't get hurt. This is why you don't do that. And the third thing, just to be very crystal clear on this, I never ever add to a loser, ever. I used to do that many, many years ago. It used to bite me. It killed me. I stopped doing that so long ago. For instance, what I'm saying is when this thing got negative on us, came through, down through where we should have had our tight stop, okay, let's move beyond that, and we came down here and looked like we were bouncing, and then we said let's add to it. And I know almost all of you voted not to do that, but I wanted to show the negative of doing that. If you recall, we added one more to get 3 contracts long on a bar flip here, giving us 3 contracts. You see it came up, touched the mid-band, did not even get positive at all, and then rolled over and tanked. And you took a huge hit. So you would never, ever add to a loser. Okay? So when people see, you hear in the room comments to the effect of, I added there. Now that would be a case where, for instance, let's take an example on gold. Let me explain how this works when you do the adding. Let me take all these drawing. In fact, wait a minute, hold on. I think we're in, are we in crude? Yes, we're in crude. But we're almost out of time. So let me just tuck that off to the side. Hold on a second. Let me use this as an example and let me get all these lines off of here. Okay, we're bouncing on crude. We're long one. Before we do this, where are we going to put our targets and stops? This is the last trade we're going to take, and then we're closing out. How many we want to fade 81? Peel it all off right there. You're long, sell limit. A, B, let it run. Quick vote. This is the last vote. Type in what you want to do. A, tight. We fade the top by a couple of ticks. B, loose, let it run. A or B? 5 seconds. I'll take the vote of the team. A, fade it. Okay, all right, you win. Let's fade it. Let's make it tight. You pop up, you're out. Where are we going to put the stops? Tight or loose? T or L? T or L? I'll pick the spot. Tight or loose? Tight or loose? We're long, so we're selling. Tight. I love it. Good. So you learned something. Everybody learned something tonight, didn't we? Good. See, this is the kind of stuff that I hope helps when you're looking at this stuff tonight or tomorrow, whenever you're trading. For me personally, I would take the stop up right here. I'd let it end even if it's a 2-tick winner. Okay, to me, that's tight. All right? Tight to me is not down here. Not when you've bipped up 6-8 ticks. No, that's not tight anymore. Tight is you want a free trade. It takes that out, we're still getting a couple of ticks. In fact, I'm going to go right on the close under a wick of that bar. If that closed down, we'd be out and still make 2 ticks. You see that? That's tight. Break even plus 1 or 2. Exactly. That's tight. Not loose down here. No. Don't take that winner and let it turn into a loser. Now we're fading the top here. The top is at 81. We're fading it by 3 ticks. If you want to go a little bit tighter, you can go close on top of that bar there. Okay? Now you've boxed it in. You got a free trade. Either you're going to make 8 ticks or 2. See that on crude? Now back over here, just real quick, to the question of adding. Where are you adding and where are you taking away? How are we adding? And we explicitly said, do not add to losers. So how do you add to winners would logically be the question. So what that is, and I do this technique, and I know Gary does too. Okay, let's suppose hypothetically you're long from lower levels. Wherever you got in. You got in here, you got in here, you got in a pullback. Wherever you got in, you're already long. Okay? And so your average price of it is way down here. But you want to add some contracts to add to your gains and make a little bit more money. All right, so in this case here, what happens is you get this nice thrust. It's going to get our target. Watch, one more bip, closes up there, we're out. That's how you scalp that, by the way. Okay, you pull back here, and let's say hypothetically you have two, 3 runners on. Whatever the number is, you're long from, you still have 2 or 3 runners on from down here. As you pull back into support, you can add here, adding another contract or 2 on a bounce. And then you peel the profits on the scalper with the ones you've added when it pops up like this. Everybody see that? So even if you're long from lower levels down here and you pop another 1 or 2 on, it's going to take your blended average from here and only move it up maybe to here. Everybody see that? Everybody understand how you're doing that? You're already long from lower levels and you're adding on pullbacks and you're scalping the additional contracts as it goes up. And since you're in from a low cost basis down here, you're continuing to let those runners run and run and run. And so when you add, your cost basis only goes up very marginally. And it gives you the ability to catch a little bit more, sort of leverage yourself on the moves a little bit more. Let's hang out for 1 more minute and see if we get, that takes that little scalper target out on crude. Did this help, by the way? I like doing this interactive thing in the evening. You know, if you like it, I'll keep doing it. Everybody, I've gotten a lot of good positive feedback on it, so if it helps to see live data on a chart, I always think it's sometimes easier to see when it's actually moving to participate as a team. How about moving the stop up to a close of that bar right there? That's about as tight. You can get a little tighter. You can just totally engulf the bar at the end. Yes? Helps? Keep doing it? Good webinar? Okay. Fun and helpful. Okay, well, I'll continue to do that then. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recorder. We'll just hang out a couple of minutes and see how this crude oil trade ends up. So that's the